The book of Job, chapter 15, and verse 35 in the NLT. They conceive trouble and give birth to evil. The womb produces deceit. All praises to Yahweh, by Hashem HaShah, Yahweh Kakadash. Give honor to the elders and the apostles of the great millstone. Shalom to the hopeful elect, the seeking the be the elect of the nation of Israel. That scattered abroad amongst the heathen, some look like the heathen. Give the 144,000. Preachers, teachers, and prophets. Shalom. Now we know Esau is always in the background, planning everything.
But this is very...
Hey, when we sleep, they plot, scheming. Why? It's all to fit the narrative and their agenda in which they want to bring forth. All right? Now, at this 4-minute and 55-second mark, I'm going to play the whole video. Listen to what they're saying about the internet and what's on the internet. All right? And you see this video is titled, Accused I.S.I.S bombers shocking post-release. Albany terror suspect pledged allegiance to ISIS. Now this happened, yesterday, a couple days ago, you know. So I didn't jump on it right ahead. So I prayed to Yahweh Shemal Shah about it. So, just allow me to do it at the right time. Because it's always more updates coming out. Afterwards, So, hey, real quick, Amos 8 and 11 in the KJV. Behold, the days come, said the Lord, God Yahweh Shemal Shah, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread nor thirst of water, but of hearing the words of the Lord Yahweh Shemal Shah. And how are you able to hear this word? By way of the internet. All right, by way of the internet. All right, this word has gone across the globe by way of the internet. We listen to brothers from different cities and states by way of the internet. All right, information is being pushed by way of the internet. All right, all truth is being pushed forward by way of the internet. So Esau is eventually going to push forth laws, draconian laws, that say you can't speak out against what's going on. All right? Beginning with this word is truth. And those who speak any form of truth are going to be banned as well. Hey, going into that new world order, when they implement this new beast system, this new this new way of living, Constitution is going to be thrown out the window. All right? So if you speak anything against this system and against what's going on, you will be put to death. Go to Revelation 13 and 15. All right? And they shall wander from sea to sea, and from the north even to the east, they shall run to and fro to seek the word of the Lord Yahweh shall not find it. So you're not going to be able to find this truth. The truth of the scriptures, the prophets. You're not going to be able to find any form of proof, period. All right? Because he's all going to cut all of it. All right? And push their propaganda. It says, and shall not find it. So it's going to be impossible for you to get this word to be updated by way of the prophets, man. Okay, who have the spirit of Yahweh Shemal Shah. And that day the fair virgins and the young men shall faint for thirst. That's talking about 2/3 of Israel, man. Hey, they're not gonna be able to get these get this truth. All right, that means the doors of repentance are gonna be closed. All right, hey, that's why when you get Isaiah 24, it says there should be a cry for wine in the streets. Isaiah 24 and 11. And it reads, there is a crying for wine in the streets. Wine goes into comfort, pleasure. All right, and this cry for wine in the streets is comfort and responses. come for the answers, the truth. All joy is darkened, the mirth of the land is gone. All right? So you see what Esau eventually is going to do. Now, I'm gonna start it right here, but then I'm going to go back and let it play. Esau set this up, man. All right? And we pay attention to it, you can tell. Let's listen to the wording. If you remember the incident that happened on the day after September the 10th, I believe 2001, you know what I'm talking about. If you remember the day that happened before September the 12th, 2001, you know what I'm talking about. They are very sensitive about that date. So that's why I had to say it like that. Hey, it was an inside job. When you do the research, you go into the real interviews and the videos. The tallest buildings in New York were blown up from the inside like a demolition. All right? A flying aircraft did not do that. It was an inside job. The people that ran out and were interviewed later on said that, hey, weeks before that situation, they were planting devices on the inside. You see? So just remember, that's all I'm going to say. All right? That's all I'm going to say. All right? So I'm saying that for a reason, so when you hear the video and they get to talking about it, just know that, hey, it was an inside job. I'm not saying who done it. We know who done it. All right? The same people that's planning this deceit. All right? They're setting these things up. But I'm going to play this part first, then let it play through. Because, see, the whole goal is to target any and everybody that's not with this beast system, that's not going to lay down for this beast system, conform to this beast system, or have the ideology of this beast system, man. So if you speak against it, then you'll be labeled as treason, as a treasonous, and that's up to what, 5-10 years in prison and a $25,000 fine and or death.
But this is very real, and this is why all of the tools at our disposal are so crucial, especially the ones that we don't have anymore, to try to cast that net. And people argue about privacy, and they argue about the freedom of speech on the internet. The reality is that the internet is a toxic, malignant tumor that foments things like this all the time, and foments other things that we talk about on this couch as it relates to our children and the like. So, guys, the source of this is something that your kids have exposure to, and your relatives, and your neighbors. And if your neighbor maybe looks like that and is walking down to 7-Eleven with her big gulp, you have no idea if she has a burqa in the closet and she is radicalized about this. It is frightening.
Can I just...
You hear that? You hear that? Man, I walk past some people quite often in Walmart, man. Man, they don't bother no damn body. It's, man, you know, the women, they, you know, I forgot what you call it, man. The outfits like that from head to toe, they don't bother nobody, man. You know, they don't bother nobody. But you see, they pushing the narrative to fear them. Hey, so when you see them, hey, be suspicious, be skeptical about being around, and possibly call 911 and report them. You see, just like with ICE, what they're doing to the Northern Kingdom. It's all, look, jackass. You think people watch the news on TV all day? No, people use their phones. All right. So y'all talking about the internet, everything is so poison. Well, y'all allow the damn poison, and when they cut all this stuff, your ass will be out of a job with 10 pounds of makeup on your face. See, they all playing a role, man. They all playing a role. It's all a game. When you see this, the children, the men, and the women are pretty much soaking up what's going on and causing these things to happen. You see? But hey, Esau is the one who allowed these things on the internet. But here it is, you allow all this folly on the internet, bunch of stupidness, you know, but y'all ain't saying nothing about that. It's all a sham, man. But they're gonna bring forth the family of the word, man. They just everything is just it's gradualism. Things got to play out the way where it's gonna play out. Esau got to justify the actions in which he's about to bring forth, man. That's all. And then when us are looking at, they're already looking at us Northern Kingdom. Hey, look how people look at the Northern Kingdom, man. So-called Mexicans and the so-called Hispanics and Latinos. A lot of people look at the Jamaicans and the Haitians, man. Look at them like they trash. I mean, a lot of them nasty as hell, but hey, we consider they are people. But they really don't bother them about it though. You know? So to the point where don't nobody like them, and the government was giving them a lot of benefits. Why? So people can hate them. That people still don't get it. They gave them the benefits in which we put into the system, which I never bitch to complain about it anyway, that we put into the system. But the system, Esau gave it to them. Just so people so they could get that reaction out of people, man. They did that purposefully. So hey, the people that apply for assistance who can't get them, that's American citizens, can get aroused, and those that's trying to get benefits and stuff that's American citizens can get aroused. You know, and they gave the benefits to those that came in the border so-called illegally. It was all a mind F, man. And they played it out perfectly. But only the hopeful elect, the seeking to be elected Israel caught up on them. And you see, hey, ICE still going on, hey, they transporting the Haitians, Jamaicans, and Northern Kingdom, so-called Spanish and Latinos up out of here, man. Now look at the jobs. You see? Look at the jobs. You got ICE harassing Northern Kingdom on the job sites. Look at the jobs. The manual labor jobs. Things not being built fast or right. If at all. Hey, this play's finished, but I'm gonna play the video, man. Stay put up in the job.
This investigation highlights the harsh reality that there are still adversaries intent on conducting terrorist attacks on American soil. She once wrote, quote, "Praise be Allah for September 11th.
Hey, also, you heard what he just said. Also, you see Americans getting their tail kicked by the Islamic nations back east. You see, so why else you think they're putting this out? So people can attack those or come up against those that's over here, that's Muslims. Most definitely over there in Michigan, that's Muslims, or look like them. Why? Because America have no other option, man. They getting stomped over back east, man. So anybody that's Islamic or from back east, they even look like them from back east, they feel as if the American citizens can help them out by pushing this on TV. Hey, they could take them out themselves to help them out. It's all a game, man. Esau ain't slick, but it's prophecy though, as we read in Job 15 in the last verse. So I had to get that out, man. I'm gonna start it back over.
This investigation highlights the harsh reality that there are still adversaries intent on conducting terrorist attacks on American soil. She once wrote, quote, "Praise be Allah for September 11th. Also in the court documents, she told the source that she went from a little girl waving an American flag after 9/11 to now having stickers of the fallen towers. Folks, let that sink in.
Federal agents say they have foiled an ISIS-inspired terror plot targeting New York State Capitol in Albany. 35-year-old Jessica Bowie is accused of planning to bomb the Capitol building and kill lawmakers with hopes of executing more attacks throughout the country. Investigators say Bowie was caught on camera at a Home Depot wearing a burqa and buying supplies to carry out her plot. She allegedly planned to disguise the bomb as a DoorDash delivery. Social media posts now show Bowie praising Allah for 9/11, threatening to poison infidels, and saying blowing the brains of non-Muslims out is beautiful. FBI agents say this was just the beginning of her plans and that her sights were set on bigger targets.
Miss Bowie didn't just want to kill lawmakers. She wanted a complete disruption of our government. And after that, she planned to flee the country and one day come back to, quote, do more, such as New Year's Eve in Times Square, even stating she would come back to attack the White House and the president, but only after she bombed the state capitol.
Tonight, she was going to live her best life, do all the things she'd been dying to try, the kind of night her boyfriend could never give her. Then the elevator doors opened. She looked up. Oh, crap. Standing right in front of her was her boyfriend.
Brianna. Cole.
After she bombed the state capitol.
The devil walks the planet. Jason.
Yeah. No. And good job, FBI. That's the FBI we signed up for. That's the FBI I want to see more of. This case begs a lot of questions. How did she get radicalized? Who else was she communicating? How did the FBI get on the radar screen? I mean, I have a hard time believing this is the end of the arrests. My guess is that probe goes a lot further, and they have to be very disciplined following.
You heard what she said, the devil walks the planet. And then he said, that's what the FBI is supposed to do. But how they said it was two separate things, like the FBI is really doing their job. They weigh the violence of the hands in the earth. Psalms 58:2. It's these Edomites. It says, let's start at 1. Do ye indeed speak righteousness, O congregation? Do ye judge uprightly, O ye sons of men? Yeah, in heart ye work wickedness. Ye weigh the violence of your hands in the earth. You see? Backing up what that woman just said. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. Had to hit that. Why the hell was small shot? They telling y'all, man. You just got to pick up on them.
Be very disciplined following.
I'm gonna play it back 10 seconds, y'all. Sorry about that. Let's play that drum back.
On the radar screen. I mean, I have a hard time believing this is the end of the arrests. My guess is that probe goes a lot further, and they have to be very disciplined following somebody like this who is making an allegation but then going into motion. They got to be able to get the evidence, like going and buying, all the weaponry, in this case the nails and that sort of thing. But the threat is real, and this is what we need the FBI for.
Just
so
real
good job.
quickly, just tapping into all of your years in leadership in the U.S. Congress on Oversight Committee and other committees where you're given this information. Our threat level now, we're at war in the Middle East with Iran, but our threat level is what it is because people hate.
They do hate, and it is pervasive, and law enforcement is overwhelmed with the number of cases. What's real, what's not real, what is just, an exercise of the First Amendment, but when you put it into action, that's when you need the FBI and the marshals, all different law enforcement, and we're operating without FISA, which is a whole nother issue, but in this particular case, being what is going on here domestically, this is the FBI doing what it's supposed to be doing.
Amazing. Donna?
I look at this and I think we're all told if you see something, say something, and people have been saying something and no one was listening. We have been talking about the radicalization of people since 9/11, and I can't believe living in a post 9/11 world and anyone who lived through it that we're still dealing with this. And I don't know what we need to do to make it clear that death to America is a real thing. And we continue to talk about tolerance, but at the end of the day, we have to preserve and protect our country, our people. And the fact that you have one person like this is enough. And to Jason's point, there is going to be a group of people that she was working with that helped radicalize her. But the basis of this religion, this is not a religion of peace. When your religion is telling you that it's okay to kill people who don't believe what you believe, this is what we're left with. And what happens? They continue to multiply, right? The ideology continues to multiply. And when they're having children 5 times faster than the rate of Americans, this problem just continues to get bigger.
Emily.
What strikes me about this, I think, is, as we perhaps look at this case and maybe feel some type of surprise, I don't know. The reality is that the proliferation of online radicalization is so paramount. It is such a virus. It is an epidemic, and it is their goal. So all of these jihadists, their goal is to online radicalize mostly children and teens, mostly young men, and they are succeeding at also dragging in a ton of women, a ton of people whose maybe socioeconomic or demographics don't seem like the right fit. But this is very real, and this is why all of the tools at our disposal are so crucial, especially the ones that we don't have anymore, to try to cast that net. And people argue about privacy, and they argue about the freedom of speech on the internet. The reality is that the internet is a toxic, malignant tumor that foments things like this all the time and foments other things that we talk about on this couch as it relates to our children and the like. So guys, the source of this is something that your kids have exposure to and your relatives and your neighbors. And if your neighbor maybe looks like that and is walking down a 7-Eleven with her big gulp, you have no idea if she has a burqa in the closet and she is radicalized about this. It is frightening.
Can I just a quick follow-up with you, because you were talking about things, I think you're talking about FISA, which is what Jason mentioned, the things that we technically don't have in our toolkit right now. But this idea of private life versus what it takes to protect us as Americans, where are we going with that? Because we have to have these conversations.
And legally, so we talk, all right, so if you see something, say something, we think to ourselves, gosh, this person's on the radar, like now she could have succeeded. But the reality is that law enforcement is then monitoring these people after someone says something. And then when they take the overt action, then that becomes a fulfilled element of a charge or a crime that they can then charge. So I think unfortunately as a society, it feels a little helpless and perhaps, not active enough to wait and see, but we have to trust that the good men and women of law enforcement are monitoring accurately and adequately, so that the instant there's an overt action to try to proliferate something like this, they can go in and nab. But to that point, it only works if we have resources and support from bureaucrats and not a bunch of candidates that say defund the police and do away with them all. I mean,
even scarier here.
Yeah. No, that's right. I thought see something, say something too. Look, it's certainly not a crime to linger and visit the New York State Capitol and take photos, but that's what this woman was doing. Now, when you combine that data point with a lot of other data points and follow her, and then you get to the point where she thinks she's obtained an explosive, that's when you can go in and make a difference from a law enforcement perspective. But to piggyback on your point, Kash Patel and the FBI, what an extraordinary job they have done. There have been, when you look at terror plots, it's clear the threat from Islamic terrorism is not over, 25 years nearly after 9/11, which is very scary. But terror plots overall, so not saying one ideology, there were 640 planned terror attacks that were disrupted by the FBI last year alone. That is extraordinary work. It's scary, but extraordinary that they are on it, especially at a time when you saw terror attacks kind of waver a little bit. There were different data points in the 2010s, but according to the new FBI data from March, the number of foiled plots surged in 2020, climbed since then, nearly doubling in the years after. So you look at 2020 and you wonder, COVID, people sitting home looking at the internet, was this something that caused these foiled plots to skyrocket? But the point is, we're getting them. We have an FBI we can trust. They are on it. Yesterday is an example of that.
Well, and it gave them time to find each other.
Yeah.
Sitting home on computers all day.
That's right.
Hey, everyone. I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee.
So there you have it. Esau still, playing games, doing his thing. So, just be circumspect, Even though they're planning and doing this stuff, at the same time, they're causing a lot of death and hurt and pain, too, destroying everything. So, hey, just know that Esau is most definitely working, man. He's doing the job, so prophecy could be fulfilled. All right, say prayer for that. How about Shimon Shai? And they're going to be justified in coming after everybody that's going against them, man. Now, let's get it real quick. We'll close out with that. Revelation 13 and 15. Revelation chapter 13 and verse 15. The one that was from Shah. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, and that the image of the beast should both speak, and cause that as many as will not worship the image of the beast should be killed. So pray for the names of Yahweh Shema Shah Shalom.